Good morning, everyone. I am delighted to welcome you all today. Today, we have a special presentation dedicated to Mother India, a tribute to our beloved nation. On this first slide, you will see the name V. Rajamohan, our librarian, and the heartfelt message. I bow to thee, Mother, symbolizing our respect and love for India. We will also explore our national song, Vande Mataram, which holds a special place in our hearts. Over the course of this presentation, we will reflect on the significance of our culture, history, and patriotism. So, let's begin this meaningful journey together. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Let's take a closer look at the history of Vande Mataram. This powerful poem is deeply intertwined with India's freedom struggle and has inspired countless Indians over the years. It was composed way back in 1870, a time when the freedom movement was beginning to take shape. Interestingly, it was published later in 1882, making it widely accessible to the people. The poem was originally written in Sanskrit, which highlights its deep cultural and spiritual roots. Understanding this history helps us appreciate how Vande Mataram became more than just a poem. It became a symbol of national pride and unity during a critical time in India's fight for independence. Vande Mataram was composed by the renowned writer and poet Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. It holds a special place in Indian history as a song that inspired patriotism. The first time it was published was in the literary journal Bangadarshan on the 7th of November, 1875. This publication marked the beginning of its journey as a symbol of national pride. Later, Vande Mataram was included in Bankim Chandra's famous novel Anandamath, which was published in 1882. The novel and the song together played a crucial role in uniting people and strengthening the spirit of independence. So, this song is not just a piece of music, but a powerful emblem of our cultural and national identity that continues to inspire us today. Today, I want to talk about Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, a towering figure in Indian literature and culture. He was born in 1838 and lived until 1894. Chatterjee was not just a novelist. He was a visionary who played a crucial role in shaping the intellectual landscape of India during the 19th century. His work bridged traditional Indian values with modern literary forms, making him a key figure in the national awakening. His writings inspired a sense of pride and unity among Indians, contributing significantly to the broader theme of cultural revival. By understanding his contributions, we gain insight into how literature can influence social and political change. Today, I want to talk about the very first session of the Indian National Congress, which took place on 28 December 1885. This was a significant moment in our history because it brought together 72 social reformers, journalists, and lawyers who shared a common goal of working towards India's progress. The gathering was held in Bombay, marking the beginning of a movement that would eventually lead to India's independence. Now, moving to a different but related point, Rabindranath Tagore. You might know him as a great poet and Nobel laureate. Interestingly, he also played a role in the Congress's cultural history. The poem he wrote was first sung publicly at the 1896 session of the Indian National Congress. This event highlights how cultural elements, like poetry and music, became a part of the larger national movement, inspiring unity and patriotism among Indians. These moments, both the first Congress session and Tagore's poem, are key because they symbolize the early efforts of Indians to come together, share ideas, and build a movement for change. They connect to our overall theme of collective action and cultural pride that fueled India's path towards independence. Let's take a closer look at some of the key figures behind Indian nationalist journalism. Bipin Chandra Pal was one of the prominent leaders who played a vital role in starting the newspaper Vande Mataram. Alongside him, Sri Aurobindo also became an important editor for the English version of Vande Mataram. After Bipin Chandra Pal, Sri Aurobindo took on the role of editing the paper and transformed it into a daily publication, which became a powerful platform advocating for complete independence. It's important to note that the English newspaper Vande Mataram was started in 1905 by Bipin Chandra Pal and was edited by Sri Aurobindo, making it a significant voice in the freedom movement. Additionally, we see Lala Lajpat Rai making his mark by starting an Urdu weekly called Vande Mataram in Lahore. These newspapers and their editors played crucial roles in uniting people through the power of the press and spreading nationalist ideas. This connection between journalism and the freedom struggle highlights how communication and media were vital tools in rallying support for independence. Let's take a closer look at the Swadeshi movement and its significance. During this movement, which took place between 1905 and 1911, the cry of Vande Mataram became a powerful symbol of resistance. Subhas Chandra Bose, a prominent leader, played a vital role in rallying people with this patriotic slogan. This phrase was more than just words. It embodied the spirit of independence and unity. Many freedom fighters like Bipin Chandra Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, Subhas Chandra Bose himself, and Aurobindo Ghosh used Vande Mataram to inspire masses during protests and movements. Especially after the partition of Bengal, the slogan gained even more importance. It became a rallying cry that united Indians in their fight against colonial rule. So, in essence, Vande Mataram wasn't just a song or a slogan. It was a call to action, representing the collective desire for freedom and sovereignty. This movement and its slogans were crucial in shaping the overall struggle for independence. Let's talk about Calcutta's town hall, a significant landmark in our history. It was here that the phrase Vande Mataram was first used as a political slogan. This happened on the 7th of August, 1905, during student processions. This moment marked a turning point, as it ignited the Swadeshi and anti-partition movement in Bengal. The slogan became a powerful rallying cry for independence and self-respect. It's important to see how a simple phrase can spark such a widespread movement, connecting the spirit of patriotism with active resistance. This event at Calcutta's town hall really set the stage for the larger freedom struggle we're exploring today. The Swadeshi movement, also known as the Vande Mataram movement, is a significant part of our struggle for independence. Both terms refer to the same movement, which emerged as a response to the partition of Bengal in 1905. This movement was not just about protesting a political decision. It was about fostering a sense of pride in our own culture and economy. The core idea was to promote the use of indigenous goods and to boycott British products. By doing so, Indians aimed to weaken the economic hold of the British and encourage self-reliance. The movement also inspired a wave of nationalistic feelings and unity among Indians across different regions. Understanding the Swadeshi movement helps us see how economic independence was seen as a vital step towards political independence. It was a powerful expression of our collective resistance and a step toward reclaiming our identity, which ties into the broader theme of our fight for freedom. The song has 6 stanzas in total. Some Muslim leaders during the freedom movement objected to certain verses of the song, which personified India as a Hindu goddess, Durga, finding it religiously exclusive. The first 2 stanzas, which are sung officially, praise the land's natural beauty, unity, and fertility. You can hear the words Vande Mataram, which means I bow to the motherland. The lines that follow describe the land as lush, prosperous, and full of life, mentioning its cool breezes from the mountains and the richness of its crops. This part of the song celebrates India's natural bounty and the bond of unity among its people. However, these very lines sparked controversy because some felt they emphasized a particular religious identity, which led to debates and even partition. So, this highlights how deeply intertwined cultural symbols and national identity can be, especially during a time of upheaval. On January 24, 1950, a very significant moment in India's history took place. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the first president of India, announced 2 important things. First, that Jana Gana Mana would be our national anthem, and second, that Vande Mataram would be recognized as our national song. This was a key step in establishing our national identity and unity. Now, when we talk about the adoption of these symbols, it's important to remember that on the same day, India officially adopted its constitution. This was a historic day for our country. Along with the constitution, Vande Mataram was given the official status of the national song. It's more than just a song. It's a symbol of our independence and cultural pride. So, in essence, this day marked the formal recognition of our national symbols that continue to inspire us today. It ties into the overall theme of our presentation, which is about understanding the symbols that define and unite us as a nation. Let's take a moment to reflect on the significance of the national song of India, Vande Mataram. Even today, you'll find it being sung at various important events, in schools, and during flag-hoisting ceremonies. It's more than just a song. It's a powerful tribute to India's rich cultural heritage and its long legacy of freedom struggles. When we sing Vande Mataram, we are reaffirming our patriotism and our collective identity as Indians. It reminds us of the sacrifices made for our independence and the unity that binds us as a nation. This song continues to inspire pride and patriotism across generations, serving as a symbol of our shared history and cultural pride. Thank you so much for being with me through this journey. On this final slide, I want to emphasize the significance of the 150 Years of Vande Mataram initiative. It's a commemorative effort that aims to celebrate not just a song, but the very spirit of patriotism and unity that Vande Mataram has inspired in India for over a century. This initiative highlights how deeply rooted this song is in our national identity and history. I also want to draw your attention to the fact that the celebrations were inaugurated by our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, on November 7, 2025. This was a year-long event, symbolizing the enduring importance of Vande Mataram and its role in shaping our nation's story. Overall, this slide ties back to the theme of how cultural symbols like Vande Mataram continue to inspire and unify us as a nation. It's a reminder of our shared heritage and the ongoing efforts to honor and remember our history. Thank you once again for your attention and engagement.